Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel M2K Sai. In today's video, we will discuss class 10th SST chapter 2 Federalism part 3. Before that, I want you all to please subscribe my channel and like this video if you like it. So first of all, we will discuss about linguistic states. So how were the linguistic states formed? So the creation of linguistic states, which was the first and the major test for democratic politics in our country, India. So the formation of linguistic states was the first step. Some states were created not on the basis of language but to recognize differences based on culture, ethnicity or geography. So see, first of all, you know that Bihar was the only state and Andhra Pradesh was the only state, but after many years Bihar was divided into Bihar and Jharkhand, and Andhra Pradesh was divided into Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So this was the formation based on culture or geography, etc. So examples are Nagaland, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, even Haryana and Punjab were separated in the same way, and Uttarakhand was separated from Himachal Pradesh. Now let's move to the language policies. Now only 40% of Indians speak Hindi. So a second test for Indian Federation is the language policy. First test is the linguistic state, second test is the language policy. So Hindi was identified as the official language. First of all, in the very beginning, Hindi was identified as the national language for our country. But Hindi is only the mother tongue of 40% of our Indians. Only 40% Indians have Hindi as their mother tongue. So what about the rest 60% of population? So besides Hindi, there are 21 other languages recognized as scheduled languages by the constitution. So with Hindi, other 21 languages are also identified as the scheduled language. Now even some states have their own official languages. Much of the government work takes place in the official language of the concerned states. Like for example, Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, if you have to do official work, then the first language used will be Marathi, second language used will be English. So that if suppose a Telugu person comes in Maharashtra, he won't be able to understand whatever is written in Marathi, but he will be able to understand whatever written in English. So that is why second official language used is English. According to the constitution, the use of English for official purpose was to stop in 1965. In 1965, they wanted to stop the use of English language as an official language. But many non-Hindi speaking states, what did they say? We are not able to understand Hindi or the state's official language. So we want that English is continued as the official language. The central government responded by agreeing to continue the use of English along with Hindi for official purposes, and even the official language of the state is used. So which are the two official languages of our country? Hindi and English. But there is no national language of India. There are two official languages, Hindi and English, but there is no national language of our country. Now we will look at the topic, that is decentralization. So let's get started. So decentralization. First of all, let us study the definition of decentralization, that is when power is taken away from central and state governments and given to local government. This is known as decentralization. Means central powers and state powers are taken and some powers are given to the local government. Local government, that is Panchayat Samiti, Panchayat Raj, municipal corporations, etc. So there were, in 1992, there was a major step taken towards decentralization in our country, India. Now let us look at some points, some features of decentralization, that what were the various changes brought after decentralization in India. So first of all, it was constitutionally mandatory to hold regular elections even at the local level. For central level and state level, we know that local elections are carried out, but for local level as well, now regular elections are mandatory. Secondly, seats are reserved for elected representatives, elected bodies and the executive heads of these institutions for SC, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC, that is other backward classes. And even next point, 1/3 seats are reserved for women. Nextly, the state governments are required to share some powers and revenue with local government bodies. Yes, the state and the state governments have to share some powers with the local government as well. And an independent institution called as State Election Commission, that is SEC, has been created in each state to conduct panchayat and municipal elections. Now let us look at the working of these institutions in rural areas as well as urban areas. So first of all, study about the rural government. In India, rural level local government is known as Panchayati Raj. This is known as Panchayati Raj. Now, local government is popularly known by the name Panchayati Raj. Each village or a group of villages in some state has a Gram Panchayat. So, on the very basic level, we have Gram Panchayat. I will write just P for Panchayat. Next, this is a council consisting of several ward members, often called as Panch. So there are many members of this Gram Panchayat. Those members are known as Panch, and the head is known as Sarpanch. Nextly, the Panchayat works under the overall supervision of Gram Sabha. Now on the higher level we have Gram Sabha. In this way the powers will go on increasing. Gram Sabha. Many villages, many small villages together make Gram Sabha. All the voters in the village are its members. So all the voters are the members of Gram Sabha, Gram Panchayat. It has to meet at least twice or thrice in a year to approve the annual budget of the Gram Panchayat. Now every year there should be at least 2 or 3 meetings of the Gram Sabha for approving the annual budget or to review the performance of the Gram Panchayat. The local government structure goes right up to the district level. A few Gram Panchayats are grouped together to form what is usually called as a Panchayat Samiti or block or a mandal. Panchayat Samiti. It is also known by the name block and also known by the name mandal. So this was all about the rural government. Now all the Panchayat Samitis or mandals in a district together constitute the Zilla Parishad. Zilla, what does Zilla means? Zilla means district. Members of the Lok Sabha and MLAs of the districts and some other officials of the districts are its members. So who are the members of Zilla Parishad? Lok Sabha members of the districts, MLA of that districts are members of the Zilla Parishad. Zilla Parishad's chairman is the political head of the Zilla Parishad. The chairman of Zilla Parishad is the headman of the organization. Similarly, local government bodies exist for urban areas as well, and now let's study about the urban area. So municipalities are set up in towns. In towns, municipalities are set up. Municipalities are set up in towns. Big cities are constituted into municipal corporations, and big cities are constituted into municipal corporations. both municipalities and municipal corporations are controlled by elected bodies consisting of people's representatives. So both these have elected members and people's representatives. Municipal chairman is the political head of the municipality. In a municipal corporation, such an officer is called the mayor. The word mayor in Hindi means Mahapur. Mayor. Who is the head of municipality and municipal corporation? Mayor is the head of both of them. So this was all about the urban decentralization system. Now let us look at the new local government system, some drawbacks and the overall review of the chapter. This new system of local government is the largest experiment conducted in the democracy anywhere in the world, and the local government works perfectly, and it is working at its best in only our country. There are now about 36 lakh elected representatives in the panchayat and municipalities etc. all over the country. So there are total 36 lakh members of the local government in India. This number is bigger than the population of many countries in the world. So this number is even bigger than the population of many other countries. Constitutional status for local government has helped to deepen democracy in our country. As constitutional status is given to the local government, it is fostering more and more. It has also increased women's representatives, women's representation and voice in our democracy, as 1/3 seats are reserved for women. It has even improved the women's standards and increased the number of women's representation. While elections are held regularly and enthusiastically, Gram Sabhas are not held regularly. Though elections are carried out in a good way, but Gram Sabha is not held regularly. The meetings are not held regularly. Most state government have not transferred significant powers to the local government. They are not giving revenues. They are not giving money to local government so that they can work for the people, nor have they given adequate resources. They have even not given them resources for working. We are thus still a long way from realizing the ideal of self-government. So this was all about this chapter, federalism. This chapter is very, very easy, so I do not think that you have any doubt. If you have any doubt, then do comment me down in the comment section. Thank you, and do subscribe to my channel.